Now let us understand about the American civilization in this second part. In the last class I had explained about the Greek and Roman civilization. So my dear children, let us understand about the American civilization in this class. So in this American civilization we learn mainly about the three important tribal group, that is Maya, Aztec and Inca. So they are the tribal civilizations, we can say that. Okay, they are also called ancient Columbian civilizations. Okay, of America. That's why it is named as American civilizations. So what happened? They represent the culture of Indian aborigines of America. They are called Indian aborigines. Why? In the during the medieval Europe, when it was discovered, it means sorry, when many attempts were made to new sea route to India, that time America and Australia were discovered. So that time the people misunderstood as India. So and their inhabitants were called Indians that time. But thus the aborigines of America and Australia were known as Old World, and the newly discovered world was known as New World. So that was the confusion, and later on they have changed it. Okay, so now these ancient Columbian civilizations of America, they are the distinct and special like civilizations. We can say that we can see states, kingdoms, amazing monument cities, art, metallurgy, practice of writing in the civilizations are New World too. So they are called new civilizations. So these nomadic people of this area, they are settled around 1500 BC. So they used to grow maize, cereals, fruit, pepper and cotton. They were the main agricultural crops. And if so, during the Neolithic age, where especially we can call it as a new Stone Age. And if we understand about them little bit, especially about Maya civilization, so the American Indian aborigines of Yucatan area of Mexico. It means so their civilization, Maya civilization, found in the Mexico. Their language is called Yuchi, and physically the Mayas were short. So that is the physical appearance of Mayas, and brown complexioned and long haired and generally round headed people. These Mayas were. And the ruins of the cities built of stone have been obtained in Yucatan of Mexico. Even if we can see these ruins of building could be seen in Mexico. And when the people went for the excavation, so they have found different these kind of cities. Now if you understand about the life of Mayas, the settlements of the Mayas included huge ceremonial centers. These have been called as cities, but they were inhabited by people. They are called huge ceremonial centers. They are called cities. And there were some of the religious ceremonies were used to take place, and there were some of the markets, ports, and administration centers. This is called now huge ceremonial centers. And in all the ceremonial centers, on either side of the country yards, they used to build pyramids. Beneath them there were buildings, rooms in front of this. Okay, so that's why we can say that they are the good organizers, and usually they also are depictions of gods and priests, important leaders in administration, and hieroglyphic writing would be carved on the pillars. And there were some of the important courtyards which were their very largest courtyards, and the ordinary Mayas used to live in the huts, and there was a ceremonial centers. There used to be maize fields around, and farmers used to grew maize and yam among others. And they were not the noteworthy intellectual achievements of these Mayas were hieroglyphics writing, okay, and astronomy, and their use of calendar. Okay, so these are some of the important intellectual achievements of Mayas. So, and also we can understand all aspect. Some of the books were also introduced by them, and some of them were destroyed. Okay, during the Spanish conquest. Okay, and if you understand about, there are evidence to use that metal among the Mayas. They also, the people who use metals. They are also worshippers of many god and goddesses. Okay, and they used to sacrifice some of the animals during the no, rituals. So that we can understand through some of the books. And next is about Aztecs. If you understand about Aztecs, uh, or we can say that Aztecs are Texcoco is lake in Mexico. Okay, so actually their civilization also flourished in Mexico. Aztecs built their city in an island. Okay, this lake they are called Tonacaw. The name derived from their legendary ancestor Tenoch. Their city was called Tenochtitlan. It means Tenochtitlan. Their city is known as Tenochtitlan. So, okay, the stone rising in the water. It means they have built several buildings in the water. Okay, many cities have been flourished there in Mexico. Okay, so their language was Nahua. Even today, there are some people who speak Nahua in Mexico. And bearing Incas, Peru, there has been no one in the New World who has had an empire like Aztecs. Of course, they had a good empire. And the Aztec oral literature has been translated by the Spanish historians and social scientists. These have been called as the Indian codices. They have become Indian codices. Okay. So, like codes. Now, when the Spanish army entered the Mexican Valley in 1519, they spotted the beautiful city in island in a lake. That city is known as Tenochtitlan. Tenochtitlan, the capital of Aztecs. Tenochtitlan became the capital of Aztecs. And Aztecs were basically nomadic people. And it is said that they came to Mexico around 30th century. Okay, so that is about this Aztecs. And also they were the best architectural and sculptural representatives. And also they believed, trade, they had a trade relationship. The trade connected Tenochtitlan with far places of a empire. Soldiers gave protection to the traders. And the Aztecs used their wealth and power to make their life luxury in the capital. And also we can understand there were beautiful gardens, zoos near the palace, roads, bridges and canals led to the city. The small island around the city has been converted into agriculture land. These were called Chinampas. Okay, so the beautiful agriculture land they used to call by the name of Chinampas. And of course, they were basically many Aztecs were farmers. The Aztecs were worshippers of nature. They were also used to please God in many ways. Okay, one of them was human sacrifice. They used to praise the God through human sacrifice. So there were, as the Aztec empire grew, they sacrificed more and more human beings to please gods. It is believed that when the temple pyramid of Tenochtitlan was dedicated, around 20,000 prisoners were sacrificed. It means they have offered, by capturing slaves, about 20,000 prisoners were sacrificed to God. Okay, so that was about Aztecs. Now let us understand the last civilization of America was Inca. So the Inca empire, which was flourished during the 15th and 16th century, okay, which spread to the areas of Peru. okay, Chile and Argentina. And Inca Empire continued to the old culture. Since the Incas did not know writing, not much is known about their early life because they had never knew about writing. So that's why we don't know much about Inca civilization. And we can, but we still we have some of the information about Inca. And Incas here, if you understand their early life, they came and settled in Peruvian Cuzo Valley around 11th century and gradually occupied the whole valley. And Tupac was prominent leader of Inca. And then later on, the Chimsu was overpowered. He fought earlier tribe Chimsu, and finally, we can say that overpowered. Over a period of time, the descendants were established an empire. But in 1532, the Spanish army only 200 men defeated the Incas, and they were murdered. The Inca soldiers in gruesome manner and took over kingdom. And the talent of Incas can be seen here more than their organization. They have the organization skill. We can say organization ability. So then here they have divided the administration into four. There was a province. So it was looked after by chiefs, and under the chief there were kings, and under the king there were some officials, and the last group, which was priests, were giving information to the officials. So like that, they have the administration system, and at the same time, they have reserved for two part. Different land was, different part was separated, where the land was divided into three parts. One part was reserved for families and another were meant for the sun god. It means they gave very very important for the sun god, and the king also respectively used to respect sun god. The family of giant granaries were there. Okay, the granaries were made where they used to store the food grains, and at the same time we can see systematic planning was possible due to good communication. They believed very strongly, and many narrow roads were there, and many narrow roads and two main roads people were appointed. We can say that systematic planning was possible due to good communication facilities. The state had many narrow roads and two main roads. People were appointed to stand on the roads for passing information speedily. It means there were watchmen were appointed to stand in the street of the two corners, and they also built huge stone buildings. Okay, so they also built moon temple, the palace on the island lake Titicaca. We can see one of the important moon temple, sun temple and moon temple. And the Incas developed new ways of making pots, cloth, working of metals, creation of gold, jewelry. So these were the great work of Incas. And the sun god was the most important deity of Incas. And they believed that this sun god is known as Viracocha. It means he was responsible for all creation. According to them, the sun god was the link between the man and God. Okay, so that was our people and God, Viracocha. And this was the reason, so there was a sun temple. Okay, in all Inca centers we can see there is a sun temple. They worshipped objects of like nature, moon, stars, lightning, and prayed to other natural phenomena. So that is about the American civilization, respectively Aztec, Maya, and the Inca civilization. Okay, thank you.